there you go. You're in charge of the record button. So just going to warn everybody ahead of time, if you hear strange noises in the background, my cat Irene is all over this room today. I'm worried because you can see her better than I can. She's behind me right now. I just worry that she's going to try and jump up from that box and knock all the DVDs over.
She's really looking like
she is. My best hope is that she just chills out there or wanders away. So that's the entertaining part of storytelling on the plains. We have a cat with us almost every week. I am in the process, like that box is there because it's a box that one of Paul's big, huge Legos came from.
Oh.
And when he's done building it, we'll put the empty Lego box in that box and then put it in the storage area so that if sometime in the future we want to sell it, here's the box, here's the booklet that came with it, here's the different bags, that were with it. So you have everything that originally came with it. Mm-hmm. So as soon as Paul finishes, that box will go in the storage area.
I've gotten back to my kid years. I'm starting to get to I've had so many sets, I'm now just busting them apart and starting to sort them all out to try to make new things.
Oh, cool.
Point where I'm at, so
nice. I my goal is to get through all of the Lego F1 things that I have. I have a Millennium Falcon, and there's a black Millennium Falcon as well. I really, really like it. I just can't justify the money on it right now. I mean, I think it's $100, but I've got a whole bunch of F1 sets I haven't put together yet. So I go back and forth between I want that one and we know that they're available for limited time, so I want to get it before it's gone, but I also can't justify it right now because I have these other ones I need to build. So
I saw the Millennium Falcon kit that a guy did, and he just bought random parts, so at the end it was all rainbow colored.
Nice.
Like all different colors of the rainbow was on there. And I thought that was pretty freaking cool.
That is awesome.
I've seen a lot of really cool Millennium Falcon remakes. Nice. Been really interesting.
Yeah. And if anyone from Lego ever listens to our podcast, I know people have done the individual things and made Serenity from Firefly.
Yep.
If they
we were talking about that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of geeks that put it on. I guess there's actually an off-brand company that's done Firefly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you ever come across that link again, let me know because I would buy it. I'm not imaginative.
Yeah, it's been interesting trying to find it because I've been looking for that.
Oh, I'll have to do a search too. And by imaginative, I do draw. And you've seen some of my drawings, but my brain doesn't work mathematically to, I need this color part to go here to construct those sets like people do.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't work that way. So if there's a set out there, take my money and I'll follow the directions and put it together.
Yeah, and I find it that I've been putting I got a collage for my husband for the anniversary. It was a blank Lego piece you hang up on the wall. And that's what I've been using because you can just take things down, put things up, look at it, take things down, put things up, look at it. And it's been cool. It's been helping me out.
Cool.
Kind of come up with new ideas.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So that has absolutely nothing to do with our story today on storytelling on the plains, but
well, maybe it does.
Well,
who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a way to tie it in by the time we're done. Today, we're going to talk about the highest point you can reach in Nebraska, and I'll bet listeners don't know that place is located in the western end of the state and not in Lincoln or Omaha. And I know you've been to Lincoln and Omaha. Omaha is very, very hilly. Up, down, up, down.
It is, but it has no buttes like out here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I wouldn't expect as much high places.
And the first time I had heard about the highest point in Nebraska, my brain went to Wildcat Hills, the monument, maybe something at Agate, and it's not.
Yeah.
it's and I also thought that it might be someplace challenging to climb. You know, because if you think something high up, you know, there probably requires some effort to climb up to it. Like, where is it?
Like a couple places on Hogback Mountain where you see like the radio tower. I always thought that was pretty high. Yeah. And I always wondered how they got up there because there's no visible trail to get up there. Yeah. So.
And there's a place at in South Dakota at Custer State Park. I'm sure you've been to it, but you drive up that little narrow road, and there's an old building up there, and it was a lookout point.
Harney Peak, but you can't drive up there.
No, not Harney Peak. It's a different one. It's not as high as Harney.
Okay, because Harney's the highest.
But anyway,
now Black Elk Peak. No, there were several.
Yeah, I'd have to go.
Several watchtowers out back then.
So when you drive up it, it's really only wide enough for one car. I don't know how people pass on it. When I went up there, I had my little tiny Toyota Yaris, you know, 2-door hatchback in first gear. And I'm like, white knuckling the whole time. Going up wasn't as bad because I'm on the driver's side and I'm hugging the left side. So I'm right on the wall of the hill or mountain. We got up to the top, we looked, we took pictures, okay, this is great. And then going down, I'm like, oh my God, because now I'm on the left side again driving, but I got, 500, 600 foot drops on my left. And the whole time I'm just going, nobody come, nobody come, nobody come.
You must have been going down Needles. Probably Needles Highway.
No, it wasn't. So
this isn't in Custer State Park.
This is in Custer.
In Custer or Custer State Park?
Custer State Park.
Okay.
And it was.
There's only like one cliffside, so I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and
could have been the switchbacks on the other side too. I don't know.
It could have been, yeah. And we could have accidentally got out of the park and driven on something too, because we went all over up there. Yeah. But we were there. We were like, we might as well do it because I'm never driving that again, and I will never drive it with Paul because I don't trust him to not drive us off and kill us. It was terrifying. And when we finally did have a person that was about ready to pass us, it was like a giant Ford F-350, something like that. And we were right near the bottom. So he just kind of backed up a little bit so we could pass. But that's what I think of.
Places, yeah.
When I think of, highest places in the state, I'm thinking something very, very, very high. She's just... I didn't give her any catnip today, so I don't...
She's going crazy.
She's just on her own. That's all right. She's leaving us alone.
Or something like Pikes Peak. I
don't
know if you've ever been to Pikes Peak, but that's a heck of a... I've seen people drive up there. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. There's a place in Rocky Mountain National Park as well in Colorado. I walked it. It is the original road that went from the east side to the west side of the park, and there's since a new modern road, but this is the original one. It's still dirt, and walking it, I was like, how do cars still do this? Because once the park is open during the summer, and I assume you can't do it with two cars because it's only one way. You go from east to west, and then you have to come back a different way. It's a one-way road.
Oh, gotcha.
But it was still narrow enough that I'm going, how am I supposed to get my little tiny car on this road? There's no way I would do it. I was nervous walking it. I'm not driving it. That's just not going to happen. More power to you if that doesn't bother you, but I think I'd be terrified even as a passenger in somebody's car doing those things. So back here in Nebraska, that's not what the highest point is. So you don't have to worry if you're afraid of heights. Don't worry about it because you can drive right up to the highest point in Nebraska. And it's known as a hump in a pasture, and it's just a little bit of plain fun if you're looking for something to do and you're out in this area. So it is known as Panorama Point, And I like the area for several reasons. If you've traveled around the state, especially in western Nebraska, there are different places you need to climb. I've climbed Bede Mountain. It was a little bit challenging because there's a bit where you have to climb up. I can't do it by myself because there's a spot. I am 5'4", and I think from my nose up, you can see the next bit, and I can't.
You kind of have to scrabble. You have to scrabble.
Yeah,
up.
And there's no way for me to scrabble up. I went with my friend Steve and his daughter, and Steve climbed up, and then he turned around and he grabbed his daughter's arm and yanked her up, and then grabbed my arm and yanked me up. So I'm glad I did it. Maybe there's a better way, but that's, we were walking around for a couple minutes trying to find the best way to get up to the next place, and it was really neat. You could look over the North Platte Valley with it, but that's high up. I've never climbed to the top of Court and Jailhouse Rocks, also because I'm not tall enough, and I'll tell that story when we get to doing Courthouse and Jail Rocks. But again, you have different places where it's very difficult to get to the next level, and I tend to be out at Courthouse and Jail Rocks by myself, so I don't want to do something stupid.
Break your leg.
Yeah, break my leg. Who's going to come help me because cell signals are spotty out there? Mm-hmm. And if I fall in the spot where there is no signal.
Yeah, and there's rattlesnakes aplenty and all that stuff. So not a great place to hang out by yourself, at least.
And earlier, I'll have to go look. I think I went a little too late. I think I went in October, and I went just a little too early because there was a rattlesnake in one of the spots there, but it just kind of watched me, and I watched it, and we were both good to go. So I didn't.
It tipped your hat to it.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for not biting me. And then I've climbed the Scottsbluff National Monument. It does take some effort. I've walked both the road, and I've walked the trail that goes to the top, and it does take a little bit of effort.
Yeah, it does.
Both are paved, but it's still a little bit of effort to get up there. And I've climbed all around at Agate Fossil Beds. I've had permission and been with rangers when I've gone all around up there.
Oh, there's a pretty public trail though.
Yeah, it's the Demon Elix Trail.
Yeah. And that's a pretty trail.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And then there's the other trail that you can take as well to the two places where they found most of the fossils. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful hike as well. And it's paved and it's safe, and there's nothing to worry about. But I've been to some other places just because I was a reporter. I wrote about agate all the time. I was up there all the time. So it's like, oh, hey, have you seen this? No, what is that? And then they take me out.
You wandered off.
Yeah. But it was a case of I had permission to do it. So, and those are to varying degrees up and down kind of things. I also haven't done all the paths at the Wildcat Hills yet, which I still want to do, but they're also up and down. You're up high. But that's not Panorama Point. And to give you a little reference, Courthouse and Jail Rocks rise 4,050 feet or 1,230 meters above sea level, and Panorama Point is 5,429 feet or 1,655 meters above sea level. So you're talking almost a little over 1,400 feet, about 1,300 feet. And you don't think about that because you think about Jail and Courthouse Rocks. They're two giant buttes out here, but they're more than 1,000 feet lower than Panorama Point. And interestingly, the marker at the site at Panorama Point states that it's 5,424 feet rather than 29 feet. And it's, I'm not going to quibble over 5 feet, the way that, who cares? It's 5 feet. I mean, if you're going for challenging things, if we had two peaks that were that close, then yeah, let's measure it correctly. But 5, who cares? Who cares? So the perspective between something like Courthouse and Jail Rocks, the monument, and then Panorama Point, because you stand on Panorama Point and you're looking out and you just see prairie as far as you can see.
Yeah, and well, I think I give like the valley effect that you have here. You're looking out down into a valley, so it does seem a lot larger than it actually is.
Yeah, and so Panorama Point feels flat because of that perspective. And if you look at a photo of the two, if you never knew what each one was and you just said to somebody which one's higher, they're going to pick Courthouse and Jail Rocks because it's just what you normally think of. And I wanted to use the Scottsbluff National Monument as an example. The stupid thing kept saying everywhere I looked, it's this many feet above the valley. And I'm like, really? I want to know how far it is above sea level.
Above
and of
sea level to actually get a proper marker.
Yes, and of everything I looked at for that, Courthouse and Jail Rocks had the above sea level designation. Everything else had above the valley, and I'm like, all right.
Above the valley, down yonder.
Yeah. So, anyway, I probably also would have picked somewhere in northwest Nebraska as the highest point.
Maybe.
Because there's lots of buttes up there as well.
But you also kind of have the same effect where you get on top of, like out by Harrison, you get just past that ridge, and you look down and out. You do seem like you're very, very high up, but if you look behind you, everything's level.
Yes.
You're just looking down into like a valley or into a canyon.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of where it is and how high it goes. You're just around a mile high at Panorama Point. So it does seem to be the most logical with the Black Hills of South Dakota, which aren't far away from northwestern Nebraska. And if you've driven in that area at all, there's lots of large hills and valleys in that area. But nope, it's the southwestern part of the state, right next to Colorado, that seems flat, but that's where the highest point is. So I went back and looked up quite a few things that I could find about Panorama Point, because it's not really advertised too much. And
there's nothing out there. Like, there's not like a gifts shop out there.
No, it's just the point out in the middle of nowhere. So I found Steve Frederick's article that he wrote about it. He went out there to find it one day and to give some directions on how to get out there. It really is a neat little place to visit if you've got a little extra time. So I'm going to quote from him that he explained why in his article the state summit doesn't cast much of a shadow, but it makes for an interesting road trip. So that's the headline he went with. And I'm just going to read a little bit about what he found and his thoughts on being out there. The pasture it sits upon is the crest of a high plateau that provides an impressive view of 3 states. Depending on which way you look, you can see snow-capped peaks in the Rockies, a forest of windmills in Colorado, or a surly herd of Nebraska bison. Only 19 states have a more lofty high point. That puts Panorama Point above some impressive competition, including Spruce Knob in West Virginia, Mount Sunflower in Kansas, and anywhere in Maine.
Damn.
Yeah. So the Kimball County Chamber of Commerce installed the marker that you see when you get there in 1971 after it was discovered by Art Henriksen and Claude Alden, both of Kimball, in October 1951 using a World War I era altimeter. So I did go looking some more for some more info on that, and we'll get to that in a minute. I want to read out the directions first that Steve provided in his article, as Google Maps doesn't quite get you there. I found another website with directions, and they were super confusing to me. And just in case you happen to have this episode and you're trying to find it, I think the directions are a little easier than some of the other places that I found, because it is a bit in the middle of nowhere. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to figure out how to get there. First and foremost, if you plan to see this historic area, do not, and I can't stress this enough, do not get out of your car until you've driven up to the monument, which is surrounded by bison-proof railing. Do you get why you shouldn't get out of your car?
Yeah, get out of your car. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
You are free to take all the photos you want from your car, but it is on private property, and the bison that are here can easily kill you.
Oh yeah, they're not your Custer State Park bison or your Yellowstone bison.
Yeah, and I'm not messing with those ones either.
No, but they're much more used to tourists, so they're much more docile.
Yeah.
But if you have farm bisons, they're not used to people.
No. And these bison are farmed on a ranch, and they'll eventually be somebody's dinner. So there is also no self-service out here. So don't be stupid. Don't screw around with any of the wild animals out here, because you can't call for help. You get gored by a bison, you got to figure out how to get back in your car and drive for help, because you're going to bleed out. Just don't mess with them. Just drive really, really slow. Follow the signs, and just don't be a jerk. And yeah, the bison, I mean, I think they do a roundup at Custer State Park of the bison from time to time, but in general, you have the big enough herd that sees people every single day, that they get used to people, they know people.
Oh, they do.
You don't, probably the number of tourists that see the bison per day at Custer State Park is probably still 2 to 3 times the number of people that go to Panorama Point. So these animals are not used to seeing people. Just don't. Just don't. And I've never read a story of anybody going out to Panorama Point and having any issues, because you just need to respect things. So let me get you the directions, and then we'll get you back to the story. To get to Panorama Point, and this is from Steve, I decided to take the old Lincoln Highway west from Kimball, and I believe that's Highway 30, but it's very, very easy to get on. It's right there in the center of town. The best route from there is on a paved road straight south from Pine Bluffs, Wyoming. Although the town is plenty piney and bluffy, the road continues climbing a few hundred yards west of and parallel to the state line. About 10 miles from town is a jog in the route and an intersection where Road 203 heads east into Nebraska. So in case you haven't already picked it up, in order to get to the highest point in Nebraska, you have to drive into Wyoming and come back. I followed that around a few turns until coming to Kimball County Road 5, which heads south again. When you see all the windmills in Colorado, you know you're getting close to the border. A sign that marks the entrance to the private land where Panorama Point lies. It warns you not to walk or ride a bike because the place is a working bison ranch, and asks for $3 to help keep the road in good shape. I left an extra $1 in my envelope, dropped it into a steel box, a tip for both the kindness of High Point Bison Ranch in allowing public access to the spot, and for recognizing that most visitors mean no harm. I've also read some accounts that don't go by Google Maps to get you here. Just follow these directions, because if you do Google Maps, you're going to get lost, and you're going to.
Yeah.
it's one of those places that isn't located properly by Google Maps, and Google Maps relies on their little Google cars driving around to where things are. Their little Google cars not driving out here. So
do you hear that, Google? Get out here.
Yeah. Take your little Google car out there so people can get to it. So the road here that is one that needs a little bit of help to being maintained, and is one that was made possible by the High Pointers Foundation. And I just learned about these guys, and they have their own website, and you can go look at it. I found the directions on their website as well a little bit confusing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But they raised money to bring gravel in during the summer of 2016 to shore up the road to get out there. If you've ever driven on dirt roads a lot, if you get a lot of rain and nobody, oh God, when they groom the dirt roads? It's not called grooming. What do they call it? Grading. Thank you.
Grooming.
Yeah, I'm like, wait,
we're
that's
grooming the roads.
Yeah. And they're that costs money, and basically for them to grade the roads and keep it up out here, it wasn't being done, so they raised a whole bunch of money, and that's where your $3 goes, is to help maintain the road so people in the future can go out there. Once you're out there, you can also sit on a bench, also installed by the High Pointers Foundation, and you can sit on the bench, snap a picture while you're there, stand on the bench, I guess, take a picture, whatever, take a picture while you're out there, and then make sure you come back about 30 miles to either the Kimball Chamber of Commerce or the High Point Welcome Center of Nebraska. And the Welcome Center is at exit 20 on I-80, and you can receive a little certificate of completion for your daring feat of ascending the highest point in Nebraska.
That's fun.
So it's just a little fun thing to do. Just go back and take care of that.
And the High Point Welcome Center is pretty nice. I've been there. It's
oh,
is
it?
Nice
Okay.
Center, yeah. It's on the other side. So you have to go on the other side of the bridge. Mm-hmm. The 80 bridge.
Yeah, it's on the south side of the highway. Mm-hmm. And I have not been in there before. Yeah, I should really go in there. But there's just spectacular views, and if you go there and just it really is just like it was, 150 years ago. It's just beautiful views. It's just a fun little thing to do if you got a few hours. I mean, even if you're in Scottsbluff, Kimball is about 45 minutes away, and then you got another 30 miles on top of that to drive out to Panorama Point. It's just...
I always stop into that gas station there, the little Quickie Mart, and get some of that chicken. I've good chicken.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
is
it's
it?
like the best.
I've heard that they opened an Indian restaurant down there too.
I don't know when it's open. I don't know if it's still open, because every time I've gone down there, it's been closed.
It's been closed?
So I don't know if it's still open or things have changed, but so...
Okay.
I mean, it became so popular, it actually became on the highway map, so I thought it'd be open. It could be. I need to look more carefully, because I always just drive through. I don't actually make that my destination, but I need to.
Yeah, Kimball is usually a drive-through for me when I go down there. But
that gas station, that chicken's almost always open. They do roasted chicken. It's really, really good.
Really?
Yes, I love their chicken.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Next time I'm down there, I'll have to pull in and get some. Is that a Citgo? I forget which gas it is. It's right there off the highway. Yeah.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, it's not a 7-Eleven. I know that.
It's not even off the highway. It's still in the main street. It's in the main part of town.
You're talking in the main part of town. Okay.
Yeah, just as you're leaving the main part of town, the main street. So before you get out of there, there's that little gas station on the corner.
Yeah.
And just a tiny little gas station. I think it only has 2 pumps.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I know which one you're talking
they're
about.
Famous for their crispy chicken.
Okay, I'm going to have to go and try their chicken next time I'm down. Wish we had done this a couple of weeks ago, because I was down in Kimball to take some pictures for Flatwater Free Press,
right?
and I would have went and got some chicken. Oh.
Or some Indian food.
Yeah.
I hope that place is open.
Yeah.
I do.
God, I love Indian food. I'm actually going to make chicken korma for Paul for his lunches this next week. I'm all awesome. I cheat. I've tried to make the korma sauce on my own. Terrible.
It's so hard. You have to get all those spices.
Yeah. So I just cheat. I buy the stuff that's already done, and then I just got to heat it up. So, but I'm not experienced enough in Indian food, and someone already did it and put it in a glass jar, and I use the Patak's chicken korma sauce, and it's pretty darn good. So I'll take it. Probably saves me hours of time too, because I did try to make it once myself and failed horribly to the point that we put the chicken in a colander and like rinsed it all off, and then just went and bought some Patak's and then had our chicken. it was awful. And I'm a decent enough cook, but this was a spectacular failure. I was like, I'm never doing this again. So I also want to read a little bit of history about the ranch that's down there, because it's been in the family for a very long time, and there's a little interesting story behind them, and they do deserve all the credit in the world for, having this. The highest point is literally in the middle of nowhere, and they could tell people, F you, you can't come out here, whatever. But they were like, no, this is kind of a cool little neat thing. So you be respectful. We'll let people still come out there. So High Point Bison Ranch is owned and operated by Glenn and Jill Clowon. Really hope I pronounced that name correctly. I hate doing.
You got me on that one.
I hate it so much when I screw people's names up. I just spoke to a lady the other day on the phone that I'm going to need to do some correspondence with, and her name is not spelled anywhere near to how it's pronounced. And I am so glad that I'm like, please spell it for me.
Almost sounds a little Irish, like Clowen.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So this third generation, and this is a quote from their website about their ranch. This third generation family farm began in 1924 when Carl and Alma Clowon left Stanton County, Nebraska, and headed west to settle south of Pine Bluffs, Wyoming, where they purchased the land from the original homesteaders. They raised dryland wheat, corn, hay, beef, and dairy cows, pigs, chickens, and also sold cream, milk, and eggs as cash crops. I kind of like that because I've learned a lot over the years living out here that it really isn't a good idea to be a one-crop farmer.
No.
Because you just need one bad year in that one crop and you're done. So when I read that, I'm like, yeah, okay, so they started in 1924 and they had all these different crops so that, let's say your pigs died of some pig disease. Well, you still got chickens and beef and dairy cows, and you got some dryland wheat and other things to kind of compensate for that. So the crops they grew, these crops were delivered by a team of horses and wagon 16 miles north to Pine Bluffs. Carl's son Melvin and his wife Verla then continued the farming and ranching operation until 1989, when Melvin's son Glenn began to oversee the operation. He continued to raise wheat, hay, and beef. So they refined it a little bit. They don't have as much as they used to, but they still have 3 different, 2 crops and beef cattle on there. So in 1994, Glenn added a new enterprise, bison. With the bison, Glenn was better able to utilize the native prairie grasses in a more natural and sustainable way. You know me, that automatically piqued my interest. I'm like, oh, okay. You're trying to be sustainable and
so for those who don't know, European cattle can't eat our prairie grass. They don't have the teeth for it. The prairie grass here is sharp, too sharp for them. So what we had to do instead is grow brome grass and grass that European cows can eat. And in doing so, the brome grass has become evasive and has spread out to the native areas and made it difficult for the native grass to keep hold. So to the point where when the European cows come in and graze it all, it just becomes barren. And you'll see that a lot actually out north. You see that all the time. So bison is actually the best idea for the land because it is the natural native animal that is the grass is actually meant for. So they when they pull it up, they don't pull it up by the root. They snap it off. So you're actually mowing it instead of ripping the whole grass out, which is what cows will tend to do if they're starving.
Okay.
And even then, they won't eat the grass. They'll rip it out from the root and shoot it up. So yeah, that's fun little fact. Bison are very, awesome. Very useful for this land.
That's
really
awesome.
Shouldn't do European cows here.
I had no idea whatsoever about that. I mean, it piqued my interest because I'm like, okay, they want to be sustainable and be as natural as possible, but I couldn't figure out why. And then you just prairie explained why.
Works with the animal.
Okay. In 1999, Glenn married the love of his life, Jill. Together, they began building the bison meat business. Glenn and Jill's son, Carl, is now the fourth generation on the farm and is a great help with daily farm ranch chores, farming, fencing, haying, fixing machinery, and helping with meat deliveries. When I read that, I'm like, dude, why are you making your son do all the work?
That's how it works.
But that's just how it works. There's a lot of work to do. I was reading something the other day about, it was in an Ask Reddit thread about what do you wish people would stop fantasizing about, and there were several comments about farming. They're like, that crap is back-breaking work, and and these people that fantasize about, I'm just going to have a big old garden. No, it's
try it one day.
Yeah.
Try just having a normal garden and taking care of that. No, I'm well all too aware of the farming life. Like, nah. I mean, I practically have it. I have like 10 chickens, pigeons, fish. I'm waiting for Jason to bring a pig one day. Who knows? I'm going to have a farm pretty soon.
Well, and that's why I'm so glad when, like, your mom, hey, you need eggs? Yeah, I'll take eggs. I have another friend that just brought cucumbers. I hated doing the gardening stuff when I was a kid. It was one of my chores. I hated it as a kid. And I always thought, okay, maybe when I get older, I might like it more. No, I had 2 tomato plants once on my balcony when we had an apartment. Still hated it. And I was like, I don't care what it costs. I'll go buy it at a farmer's market or something. And I've just gotten lucky with where I live. Like your mom's chickens lay way too many eggs. She's like, here, you want eggs? Okay. And then a friend of mine had a bumper crop of cucumbers this year, so I've got a steady supply of cucumbers as well, and nobody lets me pay them. I would, but I find other ways to pay your mom back for the eggs and stuff, and and your mom will just randomly show up to my house too with a gallon bag full of cut up cucumbers, so I'll take that too. And it's
but it is a no joke thing. Just the stuff that my husband and I do with our work and our business. It's farming is a no joke thing. It's backbreaking labor. It takes so much work.
And I certainly don't want to do it on a large scale, And even these guys with their bison, you're not leaving the bison alone 100% of the time. They probably need less maintenance than your tomato plant in the backyard.
Do you know how many head they have?
I do not. I know it's a lot, though.
I guess I don't know what a lot is, so.
Okay. I think they have like 100 head. I don't know. Is that a lot?
It's a good amount.
To me, that seems like a lot.
It's a good amount. I mean, it's nothing compared to Custer State Park.
No,
they have hundreds,
no. Yeah.
I don't remember what the herd size was last time I checked, but it was in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And Yellowstone, I think, had a bigger population. So, but it's a decent 100 to 150 head is about a decent size for cattle.
Yeah.
And bison need more room than cattle. Need more grass. Obviously, they're bigger animals. So.
Yeah.
And you can leave bison alone a lot more than cows. They need a lot less upfront vaccinations and services and all that kind of stuff.
So that just brought up to my mind, several years ago when we had the blizzard that went through and a lot of people, some of their cows froze to death. I would assume bison are susceptible to that. Are they less susceptible?
Much less.
Okay.
If susceptible at all, I don't hear of bison dying in blizzards.
I don't either, and I was just like, I don't know. Custer
State Park had blizzards all the time. I mean, we got covered in, feet and feet, like sometimes 10 feet of snow.
Okay.
And the bison, they'd be just fine.
Okay.
They're big old woolly hairy beasts.
Yeah.
They're warm. They're smart. They know how to shelter. They know how to hunker down. They know how to gather.
Okay.
So even out in the plains, I've never heard of bison dying because of the blizzard. European cows, oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. They're not meant for that kind of stuff. They die all the time if they're not properly insulated or properly cut off from certain elements. Okay.
That was my guess, but I wasn't sure. So today, High Point Bison is still a family-run operation, offering a complete line of frozen, natural, grass-fed, grass-finished bison and beef, including steaks, roast, ground sausages, and offal.
I love me some offal.
It's awful. Okay.
Because it's awful. Do you have offal? Did you have a lot of that up in New York?
No, I don't even know what it is.
The little pun is it's all the awful bits. So, it's your intestines, your brains.
Okay.
Organs.
No. Okay, no.
Heart, liver, kidney.
Yeah, you're not going to get me to eat any of that. My grandma would probably try the liver. I don't know, probably kidney as well. This is really sad. When I used to live in Lincoln, I would, when your chickens would come with the innards in the chicken, I would put them in the freezer, and then I would put them in a cooler when I drove back to New York. And here, Grandma, I got a whole bunch of innards from the chicken. She'd be like, awesome, I can make soup or, however she was going to eat it. She loved the innards, and I couldn't stand them. I did try to eat them. She would make them different ways, and I didn't like them. Mm-hmm. And one time I was offered cow's tongue, and I was like, you know what, man, no, I don't like the innards of a chicken. I don't think I'm going to like a tongue.
I love tongue.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. It's so good. Cow tongue is so good.
And it's
ridiculously good.
And I think it's something I didn't have growing up, so it doesn't taste right to me. Like Paul and I were having that discussion last night about how much he hates zucchini and pumpkin. Yes, it was available in England growing up, but his parents didn't buy it.
That's Yankee food. You're going to go into a pumpkin, you yank.
And so he doesn't like it, and I get it. You didn't grow up eating it. It tastes a little bit different. I get it. He did eat my mom's pumpkin bread and zucchini bread, but he didn't like the stuff just by itself. I even tried to get him to eat pumpkin seeds. He wouldn't do that. Pumpkin seeds are good. We used to save them every year. We'd save some out that we were going to plant pumpkin with next year, and then the rest we would roast in the oven ourselves. And I can't even tell you how elated I was when I finally saw pumpkin seeds were available in the store, and I could eat them all year, not just in November. October, November, whenever the heck it was we made them. But it's the same with British mushy peas. They're vile. I swear mushy peas are peas that you ate and threw back up and then said, here, have some. They're gross.
Know why British overcook their food.
Yeah,
they're notorious for overcooking their
food. They're terrible. Why? I hate mushy peas. I'm not a big fan of peas to begin with, and then you give me something that looks like it was already eaten, no, they're gross. Yeah. But again, it's something I didn't grow up eating, so they don't taste right to me.
I do like beans on toast. That
yeah,
grew
beans.
on me.
Yeah, beans.
British beans on toast.
Yes.
So for those who are wondering what that is, so like Heinz here in America, it's often in like barbecue sauce, but the stuff in Britain is in a tomato sauce.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. So if you got to do it right,
mm-hmm.
you got to go with the tomato sauce. And it's actually really good.
Yeah.
I like beans on toast.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And you can in some places find the Heinz beans. Yeah.
City Drug in Fort Collins of all the places had it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! This is so great.
So it's some of it is a matter of you just didn't grow up with it, so.
I have an open mind.
I will try. And it's for me, it's the same with seafood. Like once every 10 years, okay, let me try this again. Nope, still don't like shrimp. I don't like seafood. I like cod and I like tuna. And we fished in the Neversink River in New York State as a kid, and they had bass, trout, eel. Bass, trout. What's the other little fish? Bass, trout, eel. There was a fourth fish that was there, and I would eat that. And I had sea bass when I was in Athens. That was like just caught, and it was really good. But your traditional, when you think of seafood, you think of like shrimp, lobster, that kind. I can't stand that. Yeah. And it's not because I ate it at Red Lobster. I tried eating it when I was in Maine, and it was, right there on the ocean.
Probably not much of a bottom feeder kind of person.
Yeah.
Shrimp and lobsters, they're all bottom feeder.
Yeah,
kind of
they just, and for me, it's a texture thing. Mm-hmm. So, but that's okay. I didn't like bison at first either. But if you get the right seasonings on it, you don't really taste that. I don't want to say it's an aftertaste, but when you're eating bison versus hamburger.
Yeah, and I prefer bison. Bison is delicious.
Yeah,
so nice and lean.
Yes. So to kind of wrap up, that's the family ranch, and this is their livelihood, and if you go out there and screw around with it, not only are you screwing with someone's livelihood, but you're ruining it for everyone else who might ever want to go to Panorama Point again. So
don't like come out here and do some stupid, don't come out here and drink. It's not that interesting.
Yeah. So just remember to respect that the family has allowed visitors to come onto their land so that you can see this beautiful part of the state, and you can very much look back. And I'm looking over at my cat because I'm like, please don't hop up there because you are going to destroy everything. And she really wants to. You could see that. Erin, come here. Yeah. Sometimes she's like a dog. I just need to snap my fingers and over she comes. But when you're there, just look around and imagine what it was like 150, 200 years ago. It's largely unchanged. And just remember when you go out there, open the little drawer, the large metal desk that's out there next to the marker, and sign the register, and let people know what you thought of it. And then once you're done relaxing on the bench, you can drive about a mile away from there to where Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado collide, and there's a marker there too, and we'll get to that in our next episode. I finally found a good way to end the episode. So for today, I'm Irene.
And I'm Connor.
And this is Storytelling on the